The stories that are coming out, particularly as a result of leaks through Discord and so on, about spying and about the Russian state of play, is that, number one, Putin himself didn't give an order for Navalny's death. But number two, there's quite a hefty group of individuals who are keen to bring the special military operation to a rapid conclusion, and that can only increase as time goes by. As many of you who follow my channel know, I don't believe that Putin is still alive. I believe the person who we see is no longer Putin. But for probably about 10 years, maybe a little longer, Putin has been a concept. Putin has been an arrangement of factions, and Putin, the man, has simply been the figurehead that has put his thumbprint to whatever decisions have been made. Putin has been the agent for whichever faction was in power at any particular time, and that power play between the three different factions, certainly up till 2016, was fairly random, and it was very difficult to tell which faction was in charge. Now I think the most hawkish faction has control, but it is losing it. And there are other figures moving into action. Getting rid of Navalny, I suppose, left the Putin faction with very little room for maneuver. And should Ukraine attack Crimea, which is probably its only play at the moment, to attack Crimea, to cut off the bridge, and to demonstrate it can attack the Russian fleet in its own port, and maybe not capture Crimea and Sebastopol, but certainly put enough pressure on that area that resources will need to be taken away from the Donbass and moved further south. This could be an end game. This could be the beginning of yet another long phase of the Ukraine-Russia war. But much depends on the power of the Putin faction, Putin for want of a better name, and or we could just call it Smeg, because the impetus seems to come from the Smeg fridge, where Mr. Putin is sadly decaying, along with the bag of frozen peas, and of course the two individual components are barely distinguishable one from the other, the Putin or the peas. But that is the state of play. It's we're on some knife edge, and Ukraine is heavily weakened by the dithering of the United States and of Europe, and this obsession in all parts of our life to say one thing and then not to do it, to say one thing and give the impression that means it's done, whereas in fact there is no action following the rhetoric. This has proven fatal, and this has proven seriously damaging to the Ukraine hopes in this war. And I hope the main players, the Bidens, the Sunaks, will look on and look with regret, because the collapse of the Ukrainian resistance to the Russian invasion is down to the difference between Western rhetoric and Western inaction. And we need to learn from that. We can't make a noise if we're not going to follow through.